Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Hope we're all well. Hope we're all looking forward to the weekend and had a good week at work. Yeah, got a game tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Fulham at home, another London derby. That's the thing with teams like Fulham and Brentford. You don't forget they're in London, but you do forget they're a part of the London derby scene. Everyone thinks of West Ham, Chelsea, and Arsenal, and you forget about the other two. So yeah, we've got another one. And just for reference, so the West Ham, they're away at Chelsea, so. They come thick and fast. They don't stop. So guys, I'm going to go through like some stats about Fulham and Spurs. I'm going to go through a little bit of team news ahead of Spurs as well. And we'll I'll go through who I expect to play because there will be some changes, and I'm going to try and predict some of them. I'm normally fairly spot on if I'm honest. And then yeah, we'll sort of go from there. But guys. 4 pillars: like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, all that jazz. Let me know your team. I'm always interested to see what you boys think. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So yeah, Fulham Spurs, or Spurs Fulham, however you want to look at it. It's always a fairly decent game, if I'm honest. Fulham play some really nice football. Everyone knows about Mitrovic, but people do forget about the other players they brought in. They do concede goals, but they do hit on the counter very, very well. I've noticed that, and they do get the ball into. I've noticed Harrison Reed. Now he's a centre mid. Now, when he was at, I think he was at Southampton as a youngster at first. I didn't really think much of him, and I'm just being nice. I'm not gonna say anything wrong with that. He's obviously a miles better footballer than I'll ever be, but I didn't think much of him. And as I've watched him this season at Fulham, he gets on the ball really well, and he's got a really lovely left foot. So he's a player to look out for, that's for sure. But everyone thinks of Mitrovic. The 3 centre-half thing can help that a little bit because he loves pulling off into the back post. And at the back post is where you find a couple of centre-backs. So in our formation, obviously, not in formation of other teams that play a 4-back, but when we play a 3-back, well, maybe a 5-back when you call it defence, it does actually seem to be that he'd hit maybe a centre-half in the air. So yes, I think that'll be interesting. I think that's what's going to come down into my team prediction. You'll sort of see there's going to be a couple of changes at the back. But they're a good team. They are a good team, and they've started the season very, very well. It is nice to see when a team maybe has just come up and they hit the ground running. They start playing some lovely football and actually look like a team, I wouldn't mind watching, And Fulham have always been a team that I don't mind watching. Forest, I take an interest in because I really like Forest. Bournemouth, not as much. Don't really care for Bournemouth. Just going to be frank, But Fulham have always quite liked, if you think back to the sort of the mid to late noughties with, their Europa League or UEFA Cup run. They beat some absolutely mega teams. We've shared many a player swaps in the years sort of after that as well. So they're a team that I quite like, to be fair. Craven Cottage is an old school ground. It is smaller, but it's old school ground. They've got a neutral stand there. They're just a bit different, and I quite like that. But back to the game. It's going to be a tough one. We haven't hit the ground running. Fulham seem to have hit the ground running. And this might be a game a bit like one we play against Southampton, where we go out there, we get 1 or 2 quickly, we kind of break them a little bit, and then we go get 3-4. Or it could be a little bit like the West Ham situation, a bit like Forest even, where we are struggling a little bit. I'll let you know what I think in a little while. But Fulham are sitting, I think it's in 8th at the moment. They've scored 8, conceded 7, so they definitely know to score. That's not to be discouraged, that's for sure. But the 7 goals conceded is more than 1 a game, so we should be looking to hit a few in at least. I think they're sitting in 8th. Yeah, we're still sitting in 3rd. So it's definitely a game that we should be winning, for sure. At home, we need to win this game. And I know there's a few teams this weekend that are playing each other. I mean, Chelsea playing West Ham, no gimme. United have got Arsenal. City have obviously got Villa, and I think Liverpool away at Everton. So there's a few games there that are a little bit more difficult, a little bit more taxing on certain teams. So we should be looking out there to go and win, get through that, move on into the weekend. Because if we're playing before the Cities and United and Arsenal, I think Chelsea are playing at 3 with us, and at Everton, Liverpool at 12:30. We want to be setting into the weekend and going, right, we've got our 3 points. That's big. Performance has improved a little bit. That's also really, performance picking up might be just as big as the 3 points. That's how massive it needs to be, because we have not hit our stride. And it's not like the team has had a lot of chances in. So we do need a good performance, in my opinion, especially with these games now. Every few days we're gonna have that rotation. For me, I think we need a good game. So what I sort of expect from the game, so it's just a little bit of team news before I go into who I predict will be in the team. So Romero's back, fit, healthy, all good. Surprisingly enough, Bentancur is healthy, fit and good. I was expecting him to be maybe into the midweek, being then he'd play, but apparently he's all right. And yes, Skip's been training a lot more this week, so I think we will get our first sighting of Skip. It will be off the bench, but I expect to get a 10-minute spell off of him. In terms of other team news, there really isn't anything in particular. I don't think we've got a ton of injuries. I know Lucas is injured, but other than that, I don't see a ton of injuries. I'd expect Brian Hill to come back into the squad a little bit. Obviously, I know the move to Valencia failed because we were trying to get other people. But I think he'll be back into the squad, which is another attacking option, which is lovely. And I think he will get minutes this weekend as well. I want to see Brian play. I really want to see Brian play. Technically brilliant, great dribbler of the ball. I want to see him play. So yeah, who I predict will be in starting 11. So this is obviously, it's a bit hard to predict with the fact you play every sort of 3 or 4 days. You've got Champions League coming up. You've got Man City, a massive game coming up next weekend. But I think Conte wants to play his strongest team, if I'm honest, because he's like, I need you guys to start playing well, especially if we've got City coming up. I need you to start playing well. So I'd say Lloris in goal, shock. I'm going to keep saying the word shock after these, aren't I? Lloris in goal. I'd say from right to left, I think Doherty starts. Okay, I really do. I think he gets 60 minutes, and then I hope we're sort of 2-3 up, and Spence comes on for half an hour. And I think Emerson plays in the week. So I'll go Doherty on the right. I think the 3 centre-backs from right to left will be Romero, Dyer and Longley. Again, I'll explain my decisions in a minute. Left wing-back, I think it'll be Sessegnon. The 2 centre-mids, I would assume Bentancur. And Højbjerg's an interesting one. He may be injured, I don't know. So if he is, you'll see Basuma. If he's fit and fine, I'd assume it'll be Højbjerg. Front 3, right to left, I'd assume it'll be Kulusevski on the right, Kane through the striker, and Richarlison out left. So let me explain a few of my picks. Okay, so Romero's back fit and healthy, and if he's back fit and healthy, he's our best defender. He comes into the team. Simple as that. Doherty, we need to start getting some players who Conte thinks of as big squad players and players that are going to really impact the season. We need to start getting them a few minutes. It's been 5 games. Emerson's played every minute. Be good for Doherty to get a few minutes this weekend, I think. Longley, again, need to get some minutes into Longley. He's going to be crucial this season. He's got Champions League experience. He's an important player this season. He's left-footed, which is also great. But also this whole Mitrovic, 3 centre-halves, it would be good that we have 3 centre-halves that can handle any crosses into the box and things like that. And also, Longley's brilliant with the ball. There's no question Longley's brilliant with the ball, so I'm not worried about that. Sessegnon, it'd be good for Perisic to get a bit of a rest. And Perisic is, 33, 34 pretty much. So, got big games coming up. And I would hope Sessegnon gets a few minutes against his former club. He'll be up for it. He'll be raring to go. He'll be looking to get probably on the score sheet again. So, yeah, hopefully Sessegnon's back. The Bentancur Højbjerg situation, that's why I picked them. Conte came out and said Basuma is behind both of these guys. You kind of tell from the performance isn't there. I know it was his debut, so I'm not going to read too much into it, but the performance wasn't there. Bentancur is the best we have. I think Højbjerg is a good partner for him. I would assume that if Højbjerg's fine, he will play, and Bentancur, he's available to play, and I'd assume Bentancur will come back into the team. If one of them isn't fit to play, then yeah, it will be Basuma. I think any Spurs fan can kind of predict that. Kulusevski, Richarlison and Kane, I think Son does get dropped. We don't have enough attacking options at the moment to be able to say wholesale changes, get 2 players on to rest 2 of these. I think important for Kulusevski to still play. He looks like he's in some good form. Kane's in some good form. And I think Richarlison needs to play. Richarlison adds a lot of dimension, a lot of direct running, a lot of flair. He's good with the ball. He loves running at people. And sometimes Son, I just sometimes don't think he runs at them enough. So yeah, I want Richarlison there as well. So, yeah, I think that would be the team that I predict. Scoreline, I was reading the Football London article by Rob Guest, who works alongside Alistair Gold quite a bit. They have a podcast as well. And I was sort of reading into his team, and he was picking a very similar team. And then I read up with Chris Sutton, who said it would be 3-1. It wouldn't be a very close game in terms of result, but the performance, it might be a bit closer. And I'd probably say about 3-1 as well, if I'm honest. I was thinking about that. I think my goal scorers would be, I think Kane's getting 2, and I think Richie's getting 1. And I think Kulusevski's having a big part of all 3 of those goals. So I think 3-1. That's what I'm going to go for. And hopefully the performance is good. You know, we need to pick up some form. We've got Champions League in the week. And I think in the week. Yeah, we have in the week. Yeah. And we've got Man City next weekend. So we've got some pretty nasty fixtures coming up. We need to hit the ground running this weekend. We need to pick up form this weekend. Because I tell you what, if some of those performances that we're putting in right now, we rock into next weekend and play Man City, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. So, yeah, there we are, guys. That's the end of the video. Let me know what you think about the team. Let me know what you think you would change differently about the team. Let me know what you think needs to happen this weekend for a good performance. But, yeah, guys, like, comment, subscribe, bell notification. Also, the socials, they're in the description. So, my Instagram and Twitter for Inside Spurs. Give us a follow. I do put some things out onto those platforms every now and then, so have a look at them as well. And anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, lads.